Thanks for everyone to join us today on this webinar. What we're going to present today and the topic we're going to talk about is how to lower your e-commerce total cost of ownership with an online sales channel like Skua Commerce. We've been working with Turnkey for quite some time now, and we are building that partnership to bring on more Dynamics customers onto Skua. And so part of our presentation today is going to go through who we are as a company, go into a customer story with a company that's called Motor Direct and their experience of choosing the wrong solution the first go around and then moving to Skua after a very torturous experience for them, and what came out of that story for them. And then we'll move into the 5 cost frustrations impacting e-commerce businesses currently. And then towards the end, we'll jump into the solution overview so you guys can see a little bit of the look and feel of Skua. And then we'll wrap up with any Q&A at the end. So a little bit about Skua and who we are as a company. We are a integrated solution into the Microsoft Dynamics suite of products that includes F&O, AX, Business Central, GP, as well as SAP Business One and SAP Enterprise. And we cater to that mid-market enterprise-sized companies. Skua has been around for over 15 years, and with that being said, our number of customers that we have implemented B2B and B2C stores with are all across the board, everything from manufacturing, distribution, retail. It's very broad in the type of customers we have under our umbrella. And a lot of the customers under our umbrella, have gone towards that integrated B2B, B2C single stack approach when choosing a e-commerce solution. One thing to recognize is that we are recognized in the Forrester Wave as being one of the top 10 ERP or e-commerce ISVs in the market. Looking forward to 2021 and continuing to pour investments into our application and the people behind our application to be one of the top 5. And so as we jump into the 5 challenges impacting the total cost of ownership for companies looking to go onto a e-commerce solution. What we see really in the traditional e-commerce journey with customers in that manufacturing, distribution, retail space is that, as we're going to get into the conversation about Motor Direct, which is one of our customers, the implementation costs that are behind the investment into an e-commerce solution, right? What we saw with Motor Direct is that where they failed to qualify their e-commerce solution and why they went with Magento in the first round of implementations. They wanted to implement a solution that was going to be cost efficient as well as deploy quickly. And although these things were part of the Magento offering, where they failed to ask the right questions was, looking toward that future involvement and future scalability. Having those conversations internally, I think, is where a lot of companies fail to do the due diligence on understanding what is actually available out of the box in an e-commerce solution, what is not available in an e-commerce solution, and really looking towards that future phases, right? 12 to 24 months ahead is really, where companies, tend to oversee that investment, and they don't tend to really focus in on whether or not that solution is going to help them scale as they move forward. Another point of contention is a lot of companies have these disconnected legacy systems inside their company. They have, whether it's an ERP solution that doesn't communicate with the e-commerce solution, or the e-commerce solution has to try to integrate with the shipping provider, a tax provider. So there's multiple legacy systems that we see with typical manufacturers, distributors looking to go to the web experience that they really have that fear of changing their e-commerce solution, so they stay with their current legacy system. On average, we see that companies stay on average about 4.5 years on the same e-commerce platform because they don't want to make that upgrade because of everything and all the investment that has been poured into really scaling that solution into an integrated solution. One of the third challenges we see is that a lot of companies experience a slow time to market, a slow time to deploy their web store because those questions in the beginning were not identified, right? So what we saw with Motor Direct is that what they thought was going to be a quick implementation turned out to be a torturous 12 to 18 month implementation time for their web store because of some of the out-of-the-box functionality they thought they were going to have, but ended up not being able to have. And so that turned into customizations, which turned into a lot of investments that they weren't looking to make, which then turned into very little flexibility to scale, which leads me to my next point. So companies, looking toward that e-commerce experience, really, one of the points that needs to be focused in is, are you going to be able to scale with your e-commerce solution? But what does that mean, right? Is there going to be efficiency behind the integration? Is there going to be efficiency as you're looking to have the product information displayed in real time in your web store, right? So that B2B, B2C experience, pulling that customer information, product data, the logic in the ERP. So for us here at Sana, because of how we integrate into the Microsoft suite of products, which is BC, NAV, GP, AX, F&O, since we're sitting inside the ERP, that is what makes our bidirectional integration real time. And so when companies are experiencing that lag in processing orders, or the lag in seeing real-time inventory or customer-specific pricing, with Sana, that is not an experience that customers have to go through. With Magento, MotoDirect had a, they are a manufacturer of motorcycle products as well as a distributor. So they're one of the largest brands actually in the UK. And so when they decided to, implement Magento, it was a, it was a team decision, but they didn't realize how complex their business challenges internally were. So, they were experiencing rapid growth. And their existing B2B website, was outdated, and it was lagging, when orders were being processed. So MotoDirect initially, the goal was to improve the performance design. That they were looking to make it easy for their B2B customers to, place those large orders. They wanted to have customer-specific pricing, and all of those obstacles that they had were what you would call an out-of-the-box feature for Sana, but because of the lack of due diligence that was being had internally, they ended up going with a solution that really cost them a ton of investment that was unexpected for them, which led them to a very long journey for implementing a solution that didn't end up working out for them. So as I mentioned, one of the biggest challenges is unexpected implementation costs. And as we saw with MotoDirect, as we're speaking about MotoDirect, the complexity of the Magento web store it was difficult for them to get some of the standard fields in their ERP reflected on the web store. So the project quickly fell behind schedule and over budget. It received poor feedback from their internal stakeholders, and that significantly delayed the launch of their new ERP system, which was NAV at the time, and which is NAV currently. And so it was a huge investment for the company. The cost of the B2B customizations that happened with Magento, which isn't a pure B2B platform, there was many missing features that MotoDirect had to supplement and had to make custom investments for. So this meant additional development was needed, which also meant that was added time, added complexity, and much of the project time was held back. So they weren't able to go live in the time frame that they had expected. So as we're talking about total cost of ownership as a company, one of the biggest things that MotoDirect experienced was that they didn't have that lower total cost of ownership. They ended up having to invest 4 times the amount that they were expecting to invest. So again, with the integrated solution that sits inside your ERP, like Sana, you're looking at reducing the cost and increasing the efficiency, right? That's the goal here when you're deploying an e-commerce solution. The goal now with so as MotoDirect transitioned to Sana over the last 12 to 18 months, they've seen a total of 27% lower total cost of ownership since going and coming onto the Sana platform. And they were also able to see a 4 times faster deployment than what they were able to see with Magento. So as we're talking about these disconnected legacy systems, right, it delays the progress when you're deploying a solution. So when companies invest in their ERP system like Dynamics 365, and an e-commerce project in many times is an afterthought. and that's what really increases that initial cost. So to avoid the price tag shock, having that single stack approach really limits the amount of connectors, add-ons, and different investments that a company would have to make. Typically we see a spider web approach or effect here in many of the situations we encounter. Typically a customer has their ERP, whether that's Dynamics ERP or SAP ERP, but then they have some type of middleware. That middleware there then tries to communicate with a shopping cart. Sometimes it's multiple shopping carts. That shopping cart is then having to communicate with a third-party add-on, which could be a sales, payment provider, processing, or shipping provider. So now we're talking about 3 different systems that are all trying to communicate with each other in real time, but typically that's not how you see the process going. Often cases you have an additional content management platform that's also trying to integrate with the web store to make sure that product enrichment is happening, product descriptions are being able to be managed, email campaigns are being able to be sent out to those B2B customers. And typically what we see is that the communication between all these systems fails, and we see really gaps in the crack when orders are being placed, or complex pricing needs to take place, or volume discount happens. These e-commerce companies who claim to be pure B2B, I'm sure they could be B2B, but where the real functionality comes into play is behind that that integrated approach, which is what Skua delivers. So as we're talking about this, maintaining your web store in one place, one thing that where we differentiate ourselves in the market at Skua is that we have one place in our solution where this admin panel is managing the entire web store. It's managing the integration into the ERP. It's also managing how you're managing your content. It's managing the look and feel all in one place. This is allowing customers to be able to have a one-stop place and really a self-service tool to be able to manage the experience for those B2B users and B2C users as they're coming onto the website. From a high-level architecture standpoint, Skua also leverages the ability to have customers experience a mobile responsive experience, which means that part of the out-of-the-box platform for Skua is that a customer who has sales reps out on the field, for example, they'll be able to manage orders on behalf of the customer. So essentially being able to impersonate the customer experience out on the field if that's something that the customer has as part of their business case. So Skua leverages that mobile responsive behavior and allows them to stay connected no matter where they are, no matter with what ERP they have in that Microsoft space or SAP space, all while being able to manage any back-end logic in one place with the Skua admin. That's part of our traditional just out-of-the-box back-end feature. From a detailed architecture standpoint, Skua is very closely aligned with Microsoft, which therefore allows us to host all of our sites on Azure. And part of that all-in-one type of solution is that our add-ons that would be considered third-party customizations for a lot of web stores are out of the box for Skua. So when we're talking about add-ons that come out of the box for Skua, we're talking about PayPal, we're talking about CyberSource, FedEx, UPS, USPS, and even third-party marketplaces like eBay and Amazon. So as we're continuing the conversation, is that what the time to market is for an average e-commerce solution. We're typically seeing, on average, an implementation with Skua taking between 90 to 100 days to implement. And the reason we're able to be 4 times faster, in our implementation process, specifically for Modo Direct, is because of how we closely align and integrate into the ERP, right? And so we can increase efficiency sooner as opposed to another competitor because of how our implementation approach happens, right? Our agile approach into our implementations allows for that quicker deployment of the web store and reduces the needs of phone calls and emails and orderings for customers to, being able to have their customer service reps focus on all the other priorities while Skua allows for that B2B experience to be easy, fast, and self-service, which is what companies are looking to move towards. We're seeing a number of companies right now. I think the statistic was about 87% of customers are moving in the next 24 months. We're going to see about 80% of customers in that manufacturing distribution space move towards a single stack e-commerce solution because they're seeing the total cost of ownership, where the benefit in that ROI comes in. So from our integration standpoint, right, where are the ERP touches needed for e-commerce to make it an efficient integration, to make it an efficient web store, is that some of the tables that we integrate, or all the tables that we integrate with, are standard for Sauna. So instead of having to build out custom fields in order to pull that data out to the web store, we're able to do that in real time because that's just the business logic that we sit inside with in the ERP. So everything from product information, customer information, historical data, all of that is just out of the box standard in Sauna. We do have customers who have experienced unique situations of unit of measures, or they have unique product variants or custom pricing that is very complex. Because of the structure and our integration into the ERP, we're able to bidirectionally pull that information in real time to the web store and not have any custom development needs happen because of how we position ourselves inside the ERP. And so as I continue with our conversation, part of the experience with Sauna is that having that implementation and that agile approach from a team standpoint really limits the, the investment a company is going to have to make with, who's really helping deploy this project, right? The project as a whole, really doesn't require a team of developers. It does not require a bunch of HTML experts or developers, having to install this. Our project team really, we take it upon ourselves. And when you come on as a customer with Sauna, you have a whole team backing you up as you deploy Sauna Commerce, right? So not only from a best practice standpoint, but you have your own implementation specialist from day one of coming to Sauna. And that is something that I think is missed with a lot of other e-commerce companies, is that we have the secret sauce to make a deployment successful, and that's why we're able to really increase and have the ability to scale as a company. So one of the things in our ability to really scale is how we positioned our solution, right? So we have proven references of our customers like VotoDirect, where they saw a higher order volume right away coming onto the Sauna solution. And we really have an unmatched deployment time as opposed to other e-commerce solutions that claim to be an integrated solution. And we make sure that we load balance and test everything as we're deploying the solution. And so with Sauna, no matter what, you have a one place shop where you're able to manage all your back office information, and you're able to create multiple web stores with different brands under just one Sauna installation. So you can manage all your sites from one single admin login and really toggle between various environments depending on the brands that are tied to the company in your ERP system. So again, we're really leveraging the power behind the ERP. We want the ERP to be the single source of truth from a technical standpoint, for us to just really leverage that information that's already sitting there and just push that out to the web experience. One thing that we do find with a lot of our customers is that that have migrated from one solution to Sauna is that there is a lot of inefficiency in how companies, e-commerce companies, upgrade with the ERP. With Sauna, because of how we integrate and how we're so extended inside the ERP, that allows for our upgrade process to be seamless, right? Anything from 1 to a couple days, depending on the customizations that have taken place. With Sauna, we have an average upgrade time of 24 to 72 hours, depending on, like I said, the customizations that have taken place. This is why you're seeing about a 4.5-year average on why companies stay with one e-commerce solution and never upgrade, because of how difficult and complex the upgrade has been for them in the past. So that's one of the challenges we try to eliminate as a company. So as I jump into the solution overview, I want to be able to give you guys just a quick look and feel of how Sauna operates from a B2B and B2C standpoint. So the two different scenarios I'll take you into is really that business to consumer scenario, as well as that B2B scenario. these two behaviors are very different in scale, because for a B2B buyer, when they want to go onto the website, they want to be able to go into the website, and they want to see their custom pricing. They want to see the information and products that relate to their buying experience. From a consumer standpoint, they want to go in here and browse. They want to go in here and see the different products that are being offered to them, which could be very different from the B2B buyer experience. So as you see here, this is the consumer side of the solution. And so in my demo here, you'll see that what we're seeing here is a design template that Skua offers out of the box. Skua offers multiple and a handful of different design templates that are out of the box. If a customer chooses to have a unique design template, that is no problem for Skua. We just do like to offer that to customers, but any corporate visual identity that the customer wants to keep, that is no problem for us to keep as well. But again, the buying experience for a B2C customer is very unique, as we all know. We all shop online. We all experience that B2C consumer retail experience. And so as you see here, everything from browsing new products, being able to filter by products, being able to see the different products, different layouts, all of this is being pulled in real time from the data logic sitting in the ERP. So you'll see retail pricing here, right? You'll be able to see the different variants. You'll be able to see the pricing that relates to, to just the retail pricing of the product. Being able to inject YouTube videos out of the box for Skua is easily managed in our back end admin panel, which you've heard me refer to throughout this presentation. And anything that really is sitting in association with the product inside the ERP, anything from descriptions, specifications, attachments, even some artificial intelligence that sits behind the solution, which allows for the customer to be able to have those mix and match and related products presented to them based on their buying behavior or their search behavior on the platform. As you see here, I can log in, and now this is going to change my entire journey of as a B2B buyer. Whether I have an account or not, you can create an account on the fly, and this is getting recorded back in the customer master in the ERP instead of having to manually input that information twice. Again, limiting the total cost of ownership from an efficiency standpoint. As I jump in, I'm jumping in as a user, right? I'm jumping in as Dave. Dave already has an account. Dave is going to have a unique experience when he logs in. And what that means is that whatever information I have for Dave as a user for my company, that experience is going to reflect on the web store. So now Dave here, you can see the image banner has changed when I've logged into my username and login. My experience now is very unique to me, Dave, and now I can place promotions, place discounts, place coupons, and whatever I want to make sure Dave feels like his experience on my website is being closely monitored to make sure that his experience is limits his ability to have to contact our team internally from a customer service rep. The self-service tools available to Dave go a long way. So now Dave is here inside, logged in as a user. And Dave is now going to see customer-specific pricing dedicated to himself. So now you see the pricing changed for Dave as opposed to when I was just looking at the solution from a consumer standpoint. Now you're able to see stock available if that's an option for the customer. So Dave will see a unique experience for himself as he's logging in, with still the same experience around the ability to search, sort, and filter. But now Dave really has a very dedicated focus to him when he's searching for his solution. And so here you'll see I can add to cart. I'll add this product to cart. Again, multiple images is out of the box for Skua. I know that with certain ERPs, the number of images that you can attach to a product in the ERP is limited. So as you see here, I can go to my shopping cart, and now I have a couple products in my shopping cart. And so all of this experience that you're seeing, everything from product description, product variants, all of this is just being dynamically brought out from the ERP in real time. No custom integrations are being built, no customizations at all, really. All of the product tables that you're seeing are being pulled in dynamically. So as I'm checking out, this is also pulling the information for Dave that's associated with his account back in the ERP. So whatever shipping provider Dave prefers to use, whether it's UPS, FedEx, USPS, all of this is being pushed out in real time for Dave. So now you can see I can submit my order here on behalf of Dave. And when I submit that order, now this is being pushed back to the ERP in real time. So you're seeing this reflected as you refresh your orders back in the ERP. So now that the order has been placed successfully, you'll see the functionality behind the self-service tools available for Dave now. So what would you traditionally see as a customer and having to go call a service rep to, either create a return, or you want to see your open invoices, or you want to have a quote created on your behalf. Instead of having to call someone for all of these features, Sauna leverages that information and in real time and allows for the customer to experience that self-service functionality on their own. So again, as I'm talking about, creating a return, or looking at open invoices, you can create a return on the fly, and you're going to be able to see here that you can attach images to the return depending on what type of business you're in, sales agreements, your order templates. One of the unique things about Sauna is that as a B2B user, if you come in here once a week and order the same types of products, an order template can be created to where you don't have to go and put stuff in your shopping cart anymore. Now you can have a template saved because that is the order you place every week, and that template is now saved under your name, under your account, and so now you don't have to go search for the products. Now all of the products are already in a shopping cart template for you to be able to just transact dynamically. So you're seeing all this information here from recent orders. You're able to see the details of the orders. All of this, the sell to, ship to, bill to addresses is all being pulled dynamically from the ERP. So from a managing managing the front end of the web store, where is all this being managed? Well, with the Sauna admin panel, this is where the power behind the platform really comes into play. This is where we're able to have the web store experience, look and feel be managed. Everything from setting up the design to managing the navigation, like that banner, the specific banner, image banner for Dave. I'm able to enrich and create and modify all these different templates here through the back end. As you'll see here, as we talked about it during the slide deck, some of the add-ons that are custom add-ons for some companies like Magento, where it's not out-of-the-box integrations, we do have a handful, if not more than a dozen, out-of-the-box integrations with different companies, depending on the category, right? So like Authorize.net, ChargeLogic, some of the more often used companies like CyberSource, a configurator company, credit card processing company, all of these, as long as there's a merchant code attached, we just install and download in real time that logic for the customer. So there is no custom integration needing to happen for when they're deploying their web store with these add-ons. If a company is multilingual, internationally based, they have multiple web stores for multiple languages, out of the box, Sauna offers that information and leverages the internationalization of our product. There is more than 36 languages that we offer out of the box for Sauna. From that web store experience, right, what we were looking earlier was the product pages, right? We want to be able to dynamically change product pages and make that experience easy for the customer to be able to change, right? So as I go back here where we were under notebooks, where you see that product description for the computer, you're able to see, this content, the content description of the product, right? But, some companies want to be able to have fluffier content. They want to have multiple images, and they want to be able to, manage all that in one place and instead of having to export, import different Excel sheets. That is no longer having to, that is a need that is eliminated for the customer, because now they have one place to be able to manage all that information. So if they want to change the main description of the product, or they want to add multiple images, they have the ability to do that. They're able to manage all their different accounts from the back end of Sauna, right? So whoever the account is, if I'm Dave here, I want to manage him, or if I want to like I mentioned earlier, from even a sales agent standpoint, so if there's sales reps out on the field that want to impersonate Dave because they want to put in an order on behalf of him, that's, all of this is managed here on the back end, and being able to manage all those accounts, which I think creates a lot of self-service tools for the customer. As I'm here under Dave, I can log out to show you guys what that sales experience is for a user who is trying, or a sales rep who's out on the field trying to log in as Dave and trying to place a order on behalf of Dave. So now I'm logging in as that sales rep, right? So that sales rep is now going to have the ability to see the information that Dave would see, but because Dave is either out on the field and he can't really place an order right now, the sales rep will have access to have that being able to impersonate Dave throughout the entire journey of placing those orders. So again, the sales rep is going to be out on the field being able to place those orders on behalf of Dave, and the exact same experience that Dave has, the customer rep is going to be able to have that experience for him and select the orders and place orders, new orders, see historical data, and really, self-service Dave, on behalf of him, because Dave's not able to place those orders currently. So from an overview standpoint, Asana really leverages a lot of functionality, and we really have one place where we manage all of the information from the front end, from that B2B, B2C experience, and really give customers that ability to, self-service themselves, which I think is where a lot of the power in the platform comes. And I think, a lot of companies don't typically spend the time to understand that. But, with legacy systems and the time to go to market, we really see that the goal here is to, at the end of the day, reduce the cost of implementation, right? And that's what we saw with Moto Direct, is that we saw that total cost of ownership decrease once they made the jump from Magento to Asana. As well as, the implementation time was 4 times faster when they, had those internal discussions and did their due diligence to understand really what is the expectation of what we want our web store to look like down the road. And some key takeaways from today is that, we understand that, businesses today are trying to leverage that data logic, right, from the ERP. But there is no need to have to customize a solution, a web store, when there are already solutions out there like Asana that really leverage that data logic inside your ERP. And because of our direct integration with Microsoft Dynamics, that really ensures that your guys' cost and maintenance are kept low, which is allowing you to focus on the overall customer experience, which when we have that dedication to the customer experience, we're going to see a conversion in web traffic. And that's really, I think, the goal overall of how we're reducing the total cost of ownership for the investments and allow for your customers to really have a unique experience when visiting your guys' website. So now I can take any questions, but if anyone has any questions, I can take them and field them now. Or if you guys have any questions, please visit our corporate website or just message me directly at d.belsey@sana-commerce.com. I'm happy to answer any questions or just provide any consultation around, what you guys are currently doing. We really want our customers, especially the ones working with our partners, to have that best practice approach, which as industry experts, we understand e-commerce very well. And we want to make sure that you guys feel like you guys can come to us for a consultation or just have any questions related to any e-commerce experience that you guys are looking to do with your organization.